into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
This is what Bailey said. Bailey went to that school, she wasn't playing. I'm sorry, Lauren.
Hey guys, welcome back to the after show for Faking It, Season 2, Episode 12, The Revengers, Age of the Monocle, longest title ever.
Good job.
Cortez is having a moment here, so we're just going to let him complete that thought.
Oh.
The song's too good.
That was memory.
The song's too good. I got really distracted. I was like, what are we doing here?
That was memories it brought back. You know, I bust some windows out myself.
You did.
Know what I'm saying? I had to bust some windows out.
There you go. Who was it?
Sam had messed me up. She had me in the wrong kind of mind frame.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We'll talk about it later. Sorry, guys.
We'll talk about it later.
I'm Sterling Cates. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Cates. And joining us again,
Sam Davidson. You can find me on Twitter at SamD43. Why'd you just
Sam,
do behind
that
me?
That sound like a drink.
It runs.
Or a type of oil that go in your.
They should make a drink. That would be amazing.
Oil.
No, just kidding, guys. Hey, guys, welcome back. You can find me on all social media, Cortez G West. Unfortunately, Kylie and Roya has a little back problem.
Oh, yeah.
No,
but they'll be back next week,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So we'll have the
Most definitely.
whole team here, and thank you, Sam, for filling in.
Yes,
and
of
being
course.
here.
Sorry, guys.
All right, let's get into it. So obviously we started with the right song because this episode was all about revenge, people getting back at other people. I mean, that's high school, man, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what Faking It or what's the high school that?
Esther High.
That school.
We know your high school experience wasn't like that.
It was
at all.
not. It was. I don't know. They're having sex. They're talking about threesomes. I don't know what's going on.
They're
They're doing
doing 50 Shades of Grey. So.
Anybody
I was
can
like, I
act
keep
like a
forgetting they're
kid.
16, you know?
I want to go back being 16.
Yeah, I
Shoot.
know. 16 looks fun these days, right?
They have cell phones. We had pagers.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's get into it. So it starts off, as we learned last episode, that Karma is living in the backyard, and Felix is living in her room. And we saw at the end of last episode that Liam went to her bedroom window and saw, bless you,
Sorry,
and
thank
saw Felix shirtless in the room. So Liam just assumes that they're sleeping together, but we really learn that she's sleeping in the juice truck in the back.
Yes.
So she's trying to help her mom build a resume. They got to get back on their feet. And that was just very interesting. She doesn't have, the traditional.
Yeah, she's very much like parenting her parents kind of right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then we cut to Reagan and Amy. And obviously we see Reagan again. We didn't see her last episode. And they're very much together. But Amy's not really into it.
I think that she's just more into it than Reagan is, but
Yeah.
I just think it's because Reagan is a more seasoned lesbian.
Yeah, well, we know.
She's done this for longer,
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
well, we know just from watching the
Seasoned
show.
lesbian. That's a good spice. A good seasoned lesbian. I love it.
But we know just from watching the show that Amy is definitely questioning her sexuality.
Most
She doesn't
definitely.
know, if she is a lesbian or bisexual or what, but that's all part of the process. But Reagan, like you said, is definitely more. She knows for sure. She doesn't have any doubts that, that she's attracted to women. So we get to learn a lot more about Reagan than we knew before.
Yeah.
So Reagan offers, she said they're down a cater waiter. She offers it to Amy, but Amy kind of throws Karma into that mix because she knows she needs the money.
Problems.
Yeah, there you go. So, and we kind of learned that she just doesn't want to spend more time with Reagan. She wants time to miss her, and she, which makes sense.
Which I understand.
Yeah, because it can be overwhelming, especially in new relationships, if it's just too much all the time. You know?
Exactly. And I mean, it's like I mean, I kind of think about it the same way. It's like her first boyfriend, but her first girlfriend. It's like her first, literally, girlfriend.
Well, real relationship.
Yeah.
Because obviously she was faking it.
What
before.
really, I know, right? But what really got me in that scene, though, was how Karma walked into the room. She was like, oh my God, I'm in New York. I was like, come on, like it's not this serious. Like,
it's not that
just because
big
they're in the room doesn't mean they got to be having sex. Like, come on, Karma.
Yeah, stop being such a slut.
I mean, she came in unannounced. You never know.
But the door was open.
I mean,
Wasn't
kids these days, you don't know what they're doing. So Karma goes, and her and Reagan kind of bond over the fact that both of their exes are there. They both want revenge on their exes. And we learn that Liam is there because it's a Squircle event.
Which she didn't tell Amy.
So,
I'm sorry, Karma.
Which Reagan didn't mention before.
Yeah.
Right. And when me and you were watching this, Sterling, we were like, this seems like planned.
It was a little
But it
forced,
wasn't, I guess.
Y'all started without me?
No,
we
we were
didn't.
just commenting.
Yeah, you were there.
You were there, you just didn't hear us.
But when you weren't listening to us per usual.
Okay.
No, but when Karma was like, oh my God, Liam's here, blah, 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 and then it was just kind of like, oh my God, my ex is too. It was just like felt a little bit forced. But I mean, but they needed that to happen so that they could.
But Reagan wanted revenge is because Charlotte, her ex, was with her boyfriend but did not tell her boyfriend that she had a relationship with Reagan.
Right.
So I saw that's why she wanted
She
revenge.
introduced her as just a friend.
Yeah.
And so what we learn about Reagan in this episode is that she, obviously had been in a relationship before, but it was with Charlotte, who was very much so questioning, kind of testing the waters to see, I have feelings for Reagan, but am I a lesbian, blah, blah. But now we find out that she has a boyfriend and she's like completely ignoring her past with Reagan.
But maybe Reagan has this thing where she only, attracts people who are not
who are
confident in themselves.
questioning.
Exactly, yeah.
Seems like it. And then maybe she'll turn around and be like, I like boys too, guys.
Because she is beautiful, yes, she is.
Yeah. That's what
Cortez is like, I really hope that she does. She's like, I really hope that she does. But so Amy's so Amy obviously is struggling with what she is exactly. And of course, everyone has that process, whatever it is. Exactly. Yeah. You're not supposed to know for sure, exactly, whatever. And so, but we learned that Reagan doesn't have like any tolerance for people who aren't, sure. Yeah, because she's been hurt before, so it makes sense.
But what does she expect? I mean, she's dating a 16-year-old brand new lesbian. Yeah. Like, she thinks she's really going to have it figured out?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the point. But she's expecting that because that's what Amy has given her.
Yeah. Amy's like portraying it as she knows for sure that she's very confident.
Which I understand because she's trying to get over Karma. So I get that. I get that whole trying to be something, trying to like someone else to get what I think Shane said it. He said sometimes you have to lay under someone else to get over someone else.
Yeah. So to get under someone to get over someone.
You get under someone to get over someone. Exactly. Thanks, Sam.
I've heard it before, guys.
I've heard it before.
I bust the windows.
All too well. So that's Reagan's situation, and then Karma, on the other hand, sees Liam there, but he's with Zeta, and so Karma thinks that Liam's sleeping with Zeta. Liam thinks that Karma's sleeping with Felix. So it's just confusing, but neither one of them are.
Yeah.
I really liked Zeta in this episode, though, because she was a really good friend.
She was a very good friend.
Last week we talked about, we thought that she was going to kind of slide in there with Liam, which doesn't seem like that is going to happen now, but I think she'll probably develop feelings for him.
The first part of my prediction was correct, but the last part about them actually getting together. She
surprised me when she came back and confronted Karma about it. She was like, listen, we're not sleeping together, but he loves you so much. And she reveals to Karma that he gave up art in order to get her family out of jail. Yeah. So, and Karma didn't know that before, and Liam obviously never told him. And I loved when he said, I didn't want to buy your forgiveness. I wanted to earn it. So.
And there's so many things about this show that's like, if there were someone like Zeta that were constantly just being like, listen, actually, they didn't have sex, FYI. Because they keep on dodging these conversations, making each other think that they're sleeping with other people. But there's still something about her to me that I'm worried.
Don't trust her yet.
Zeta.
Zeta, yes, with Zeta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, by her going up to Karma and being like, look, this is what's really happening. Like, I know you guys are kind of just like.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then it made me think, like, don't judge people from the first second you meet them.
Right.
You know, maybe that's what they're trying to kind of.
I mean, but she came off kind of horrid, so I see why you would say that, because she came off like hitting it with Liam's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, she came across that way. So that's why I did predict that they would be together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Reagan, they kind of, you know, Karma's going to get revenge on Charlotte and Reagan's going to get revenge on Liam. They're just switching so they know that it's not them.
Yeah.
But Karma's revenge is just giving her a non-vegan egg roll or whatever it is, and Reagan's revenge is roofying.
Oh, she went in.
I know. I was like, oh my god.
She was mad.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
So she puts a roofie in the drink, but then Liam's dad ends up drinking it instead of Liam. So
because he's so nervous and he's not drinking, I don't think at all. Which is, we'll see what happens, but it's kind of unfortunate.
So his dad is just like completely wasted and can't give the presentation for the monocle.
The Google eye.
Yeah,
the
that's
Google.
right. So Liam was supposed to just be the model for it, but then he ends up having to give the presentation and totally messes up reading the teleprompter, which was like pretty funny. But then he does a good job once he just goes naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's
sure.
still messed up. Like if that was a real presentation, I think people would be a little bit like, what the hell is going on? But
like, he knows nothing about this.
Right, exactly.
On Faking It, it's adorable and it works.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Especially when he was trying to say that you can use it and not fall or trip or run into anything, and then he falls off the stage. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, you failed. You failed, bro. You failed.
I think, I mean, he's just the kind of guy things come easy for him, too. Which is nice.
Exactly. Right, what's that like? But you can see that when Karma's watching the presentation that she's just really proud of him. She's like, oh my God, he's doing a great job. But then, and this was also after Zeta told her. And so she was feeling, bad about it.
Zeta explained to Karma that Liam left art for her.
Right. And I love the part in when his dad is just like, can't even get off the chair. And Karma's in the background just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I would have been like, can you imagine like if you like roofied your like a boyfriend's dad?
I would disappear.
I would have quit that job.
I would have asked if I could help.
Yeah.
I would have played, oh my God,
this is terrible. Let me help you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that Liam wasn't more, he was like, you tried to roofie me? Like, you're actually crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think it shows, though, how kind of similar both Liam and Karma's characters are, that they're both pretty transparent, and it's hard for them to put up a ruse for too long.
Yeah.
Like, her mouthing that to him, like, I'm sorry. Like, we all said, none of us would have done that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and to be fair, it was Reagan.
But does that mean we're bad? Does it mean...
No, it means we're smarter. Like, we're just, like, not going to get into that drama.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, it's not our fault. You know, it was an accident. I could have explained it to him later, but I would not have mouthed that to him because that's just a disaster.
I would have been like, what?
Why are you looking at me?
I didn't do anything. I don't know what's happening. But so then Karma confronts him after the event's over, and I wish that she had just said straight up that she's living in her backyard and Felix is living in her room, because she still wasn't completely honest, but she obviously thanked him for,
But it comes out that they don't like to tell the truth because they don't want to hurt people's feelings with the truth.
Yeah.
So instead of saying the truth, they just rather would not say anything. And I think that's even worse than saying
I think
something.
if you're gonna go confront someone and like have this moment of honesty, you might as well just come clean, with everything. Because Liam's not gonna judge her for that at this point. You know what I mean? He knows what she's been going through.
Yeah, and I'm just confused why she's so embarrassed about it. I mean, I get it. It's embarrassing, but she's still living in it. She's not living in a random trailer park. It's still her backyard. It's like very, like first world problem.
They decorated it nicely.
I mean, but would you though? Like, to me, I feel like if I've already had intercourse with somebody, I'm going to tell you. I feel like I have to tell you because you will want to spend time with me, and you'll notice that I'm hiding something from you.
Yeah.
But would you tell?
They're not just hooking up though. Like, they have that past and they're together.
They're together.
They're trying to do this friends with benefits thing, but you can't be friends with someone even if you're not honest. I thought she should have just came completely open about it.
Yeah, I mean, she even had a hard time telling Amy, which is like, I get they were in a weird place, but they've been best friends forever.
Yeah. But her character, though, is just like that. She's all about appearances. That's the whole reason they faked it in the first place.
Faking it.
That's why we're here in the first place. That's what the show's about. And that's like definitely Karma's character. Like this whole plan in the first place was her idea, and it's all about appearances for her. So I think that is really, important just to, and especially when you're dating someone who is a lot wealthier and has a different lifestyle, and to not be at that level. Yeah. It's like sometimes you just...
You gotta fake it.
Yeah, you gotta fake it to make it sometimes.
Yeah.
Fake
it till you make it.
That was good.
Well, then let's just go ahead and then skip right ahead. And then they got all 50 Shades of Grey on us at the end there.
It's like they're a little late to the party. You know, I'm over it.
But she was just like, I just want to be in control. And then
they keep on dropping these 50 Shades of Grey, like little seeds. I'm like, no, like I'm kind of done with that book.
Yeah.
What y'all talking about?
You've never seen 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah,
or heard of it?
Yeah.
They've mentioned it. Well, they referenced it last episode, and then this episode she tried to do a reverse.
Oh, with the hammer. Oh,
yeah. She just wanted to be in control, and he was not hating it.
No,
that is for sure. Did
they finish? Did they go into it?
Well, I don't think they can do that on MTV.
Well, they did in the sandbox.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did in the sandbox.
Rugrats. You remember that cartoon, Rugrats?
Yeah, that was my favorite.
I know, right?
That's hilarious. Okay, so before we get into, we'll get into Reagan, Amy, Shane, Amy, Lauren. But before we do, on September 14th, just want to shout out our girl, Maria. Yeah, anyway. There you go. I wish I knew more of the words. I usually do. There you go, featuring Michael Jackson. Thank you for that, quick song break. Anyway, so on September 14th, there's Dance Battle America. It's September 14th at 10 p.m. on ABC. It's going to be really fun. So they did a bunch of videos, dance videos. We did.
We did a Christmas one, and it was Christmas and Thanksgiving.
You guys should go check out those videos if you haven't seen them. They're all
so fun.
Can you find them on YouTube and on Instagram?
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely
look
go
at
check
Maria's
that out.
Instagram, right?
Yep.
On Maria's Instagram, you can just scroll through there. Oh yeah, there it is.
That's me right there.
So it's usually just dance battles.
That's me right there.
There you go. There's Cortez. Y'all gotta go check that out, and it's gonna be awesome. So I've picked 8 families, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes, ABC channel. Yeah, ABC September 14th.
Yep.
September 14th.
At 10 p.m.
At 10 p.m. There
Our
we go.
time?
You got all the...
Our time?
Mm-hmm. Yep, our time.
So what's our time?
PST. What's our time? I don't know. What day is it? It's been a long weekend. Happy Labor Day, by the way, everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're just laboring away on Labor Day.
That's a good thing.
All right. Anyway, but go support Maria, because all of this is possible because of her.
Yes.
And
Kevin.
And Kevin.
The girl.
That's right. All right, let's get back into Faking It. Oh my gosh, where should we go from here? Should we just continue with Reagan and Amy while we're talking about Reagan a little bit?
Yes, because that's what
Yeah. Okay, so like we said, Reagan doesn't really have any, she wants to be with someone who knows exactly what they want. And Amy just isn't at that point yet. And we see her talking to Shane throughout the episode that, she needs to talk to Reagan and just be upfront about how she feels. And I think she definitely likes Reagan and wants to be with her, but she's not, sometimes she's attracted to guys.
Well, Amy knows that Reagan is all about women, wants that. So I think that's why she's afraid, because she doesn't want to, put her in a predicament, even though she does not know about Charlotte and how Charlotte was.
Yeah.
I just think that she's also like Karma and Liam, they don't want to tell people the truth to hurt them, when not telling them is the same thing as hurting them.
Exactly.
So it's even worse.
And I mean, and like we were talking about earlier, Reagan has been through this before, and she's been really hurt by it. So you can see why her guard would be up. And Amy might be a little nervous to tell her.
Right. Now she's going to be even more upset, because when her and Karma were talking, and she was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm with someone now that have it together.
Yeah.
And Karma's like, oh.
Yeah, she's like, what? And I thought that was really good of Karma to come to Amy's and be like, look, I learned a lot more about Reagan and her past relationships, and you're definitely, you know, questioning.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you should just be honest with her. But meanwhile, Reagan's outside the window and here's the whole thing.
This show needs to work on trust.
Yeah.
Like, no one trusts
anybody.
No one.
Well, also, you know, not so many kids live on the first floor. You know, there's like a lot of climbing involved usually. You know, and it's a lot harder than it
everyone's
is
just
on the
creeping
show.
Outside everyone's windows,
Like,
listening to conversations. There's no
that makes me
privacy
nervous.
around
I'm
here.
not living on the second floor.
There's no privacy around here at all, you know?
But wait, just really quickly though, speaking about Reagan and Amy and Karma, I feel like Reagan kind of questioning Amy is gonna bring the friendship between Karma and Amy back, which it has. You know, Karma went to Amy as a friend. And she's always been her friend, but she knew that Amy thought of her more as that, so she's been tiptoeing. But this time it finally felt like the old Karma and Amy again before they kissed.
I disagree.
Really?
Karma wants Amy to stop thinking about her.
Why?
Karma wants it to work with Reagan and Amy, or for Amy to figure out what she wants. She wants she wants Amy to not even worry about or think about Karma in that way.
Yeah, they just want to be friends.
Exactly.
No, I agree.
So I agree with you. I did see some, you know, sincerity there, but I didn't see a fulfillment of it. I saw it as if, you know, Karma was just like, oh yeah, you need to tell her so y'all can figure that out and get past that, because I need you to stop masturbating on me.
I need you to be in a relationship.
You know, I need you to stop thinking about me, girl. You know.
I can see that, but I do think she was genuinely just being a friend and being like, look, you need
if it
to
was
be
a
honest.
guy. And, you know, like, it would have been the same thing and it could have been them a year ago.
But I see what you're saying, Cortez, because Karma, of all people, is telling someone else to be honest with the people, and she's not doing the same thing either. So.
I think she has too much. She's like, what is that seesaw? It's like back and forth with Karma in it. And sometimes
it's just pretty hypocritical, like to tell her to do that. But so Reagan obviously overhears Amy saying,
thank you.
Overhears Amy saying that, you know, I'm sometimes attracted to guys, and I slept with Liam, and Karma's like, maybe you should just like not tell her all of that. But you know,
wait.
Yeah. But
I just want you to talk to her first. Let her know that you still have a little bit indecisive. I don't want you to tell you slept with who you slept with. You know, and all that. Yeah.
I mean, I think all she has to say is, you know, that sometimes I like boys.
Sometimes I like boys.
Sometimes I like my best friend.
Sometimes.
But I like you right now, so let's just do this.
Yeah, exactly. But she knows she has to be honest. But now it's just kind of out of her control since Reagan overheard it. So we'll get into when we get into predictions, we can talk about what we think is going to happen with that. Okay, so then meanwhile we have Shane, Amy, and Lauren all teamed up for revenge on Theo.
Which was dope. I love that
which
trio.
was awesome.
That
So Shane and Amy are just hanging out, and then all of a sudden there's just like really angry music. I loved when Shane was like, is that angry music just in my head? Yeah. And then so they go to Lauren's room, and she is like straight up like Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, so Mona.
Yeah.
So A.
Yeah. Cortez, you watch Pretty Little Liars?
No. I was just about to say, what?
You're like, who?
What?
Well, anyways, it was very Pretty Little Liars-esque.
I loved it though. That's why I tweeted during the episode. I was like, I said, go ahead, Lauren, go dark on them.
Yeah, that's right.
Go dark on them.
So she has like her board and is like plotting all this stuff on Theo, who is now. Well, Theo, Jimmy, whatever his real name is.
What is his real name, by the way?
It's Jimmy. Yeah, which is interesting. Like I don't think he would be a Jimmy.
I don't think that's his real name.
Yeah,
I don't think Theo is his real name either. No.
No. I don't think we know it.
Maybe we don't.
Which is pretty dope, because that's a good character to have, because that means they can write you out and write you in.
Yeah.
Like they can continue your character or not.
Or not. Yeah. Well, you want to be the one that they continue.
Exactly.
But anyway, so he's at a new school now, doing the similar thing as he was before. So he's undercover, but now he's on the basketball team, and he's blah blah. So she's obviously plotting some sort of revenge, and Shane kind of pushes her along, and they end up crashing the pep rally, dressing up as cheerleaders, except Amy has to dress up as the pirate. And
I think it was perfect.
yeah, and Lauren was just like all in it. Like when they first got there, it was like, bring it on, like with the
bring it on all the way.
Yeah, with
and
the two
then
cheerleaders.
Shay was like, "Why am I so turned on by you right now?"
Because she
It's
was
the
dressed up as
mustache.
But Lauren
It's a
said,
mustache.
what did she say? Never show fear. Like that was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, you're so right.
Yeah.
Gosh,
She's kind of like my spirit animal.
Wait,
I love
so
her.
I wasn't the only one that did that. When
What?
she said that, I started thinking about my actual lifestyle. I was
Me
like,
too.
never show
Never
fear.
show fear.
And I was like, I'm on the list, obviously,
Yeah.
bouncer. Do you not know who I am?
I'm gonna try
Go get the
that.
manager.
What went through my head.
I'm gonna try that
know,
for
right?
sure. So funny. But yeah, so they crashed the pep rally, and they're there to out him and tell everyone that he's an undercover narc. And Amy tries to talk her out of it and says, you know, it's not going to make you feel better. But she says, well, it can't make me feel worse. But then it does kind of making her
Making her
feel
feel
worse
worse.
because she can't actually go through with it.
Yeah.
So Amy and Shane end up doing it.
Yeah, because they couldn't read her wavelengths as they were happening
Yeah.
to be like, hey, abort mission, abort
Yeah.
mission. And they did it anyways.
Yeah.
Abort.
But I think that's true though, that it never can, you know, make you feel better. Just to, you gotta rise above it, you know, be the bigger
You
person.
said that, and
you're like, it
Sterling,
does.
and I was just like, you know what? Sometimes it depends what it is. It does feel good if you don't hurt anybody. Sometimes
Yeah.
you never know, but that's very high school of me.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like everyone always gets hurt, and so it just is better to just move on.
Is this turning into girl talk? Because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Cortez is like, what?
like, what?
Cortez is like, what? Have
What's
you gotten revenge
revenge?
on
Yeah.
someone? Cortez.
Hey now. Hey now.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll
All
talk
right.
about
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, anything else on that? I mean, I just really liked seeing them team up together, and I just love Lauren so
I said
much.
That. Yeah,
Yeah.
I said that.
She
I
was
really
scary.
enjoyed them too. And I like the fact of how they had Lauren's back. Like
Yeah.
Lauren's is finally to realize that people are like you, girl. You're likable.
Yeah.
Accept it.
Like, you're weird, you're super
You know,
weird, and you scare people,
and
but
she-
that could be a good thing
And
sometimes.
she had the opportunity to get all revenge on Jimmy Theo. And
Jimmy
she did not. And
Jimmy
she
Theo.
did, hashtag. And she didn't, you know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
was just like, what you should know about? And I think, what did he say? He's like, Lauren, no.
Yeah.
And that really stopped her. And then I think Shane came up with this whack little cheer to get out of there. I think that was so dope. I wish I had friends like that, actually.
Oh yeah, what was the cheer? It was like N-A-R-C.
N-A-R-C.
He isn't who you think
Narc,
he is.
narc.
or
Something that you see.
It's not what you think
seems
he
to be.
is, or seems to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then narc. What is a narc, first of all?
Just like the undercover like drug buster.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've never heard of narc before?
So that no, I have not.
Then you must be one.
Yeah.
Because
Are you one?
That's what it is.
He's our AFTERBUZZ narc. He's our AFTERBUZZ narc. You're like Sterling, Sam, no. Don't
No.
That's so funny.
I do like I'm like 16, 17 years old.
Okay. Now I'm going to be the narc, and I'm just going to put my foot down.
Okay, so that's all I have on that. I did skip over one thing. So like when, I just want to talk about it briefly before we get into predictions. But when Karma first sees Liam and they are talking at the event, and he's pretty much straight up like, I saw your shirtless friend in your room the other day, like blah, blah, and they both assume that, you know, they're hooking up with people. And she says, he's like, I didn't realize that you had other friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, you should have other friends.
That's another moment from Karma that I knew she wanted to bite what she said.
Yeah.
I saw it in her eyes. She was like, ooh, I should have said that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, and
she's not-
that goes back to the conversation we had last week about friends with benefits relationships and if they work, and, you know, most of the time they just
Yeah.
don't. So,
When is the 6 months over? Because, you know, they agreed to act, you know, keep it a secret. It's for 6 months. So I'm
I don't know. I don't know where we are in the timeline.
I don't think
And
we're
so
far.
last week it was 2 weeks since
Yeah.
the last. So it's like
all
in
this is
time.
going on like this quick. This 6 months
It
is not gonna
doesn't
last,
seem-
buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Not
That's right.
gonna last.
All right, let's get anything else before we get into predictions.
No. Not that I know of. Nope.
Not that I know of. All right, let's get into predictions then.
Worldwide Underground.
Yeah, I've got
And
Karma
now,
50 Shades.
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions. Okay, what do you guys think? Should we start with Amy and Reagan? What do we think is going to happen there?
Why you look at me?
Cortez?
Go with your bad self.
Well, I think, and we saw a little clip in the preview that Reagan's obviously going to be like, kind of what's going on here, like, about my past. And I don't think it's going to work if she's like seriously questioning it. But it looks like Amy's going to be like, yeah, I'm all in,
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't know if Amy's going to say that she's all in. I think that there might be a male love interest for Amy because it keeps them being brought up, and then it'll kind of like counteract the karma thing and perhaps make karma jealous, which will be totally weird and twisted on everybody's part.
Well, didn't we think that Felix might be the person?
Yeah. I said that,
Yeah.
I agree. I think we all said that, but I agree with you. I think there's going to be some tension, just the fact that she found out because she thought that her girlfriend, Amy, knew what she wanted, knew that she was decisive enough to know what she wanted.
Yeah.
However, I put back into play Sita.
Yeah.
I really think that Sita is a lesbian as well, or if she's not, she's going to be another person that Reagan feels that has it together. She may turn them on or turn her into.
I think in your dreams, Sita's a lesbian for sure.
Well, I really think that's going to happen because Sita, like right now, they can like drop Sita now. They don't have to continue her character.
Yeah.
But we're going to.
But there's a reason, that we have to see her purpose.
We're going to see her
So
again.
you don't think that it's going to be something with Liam?
No, I don't,
With
because we have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Then
And then they kind of passed it.
Exactly, kind of passed it because
Yeah,
she said
you're right.
no. Oh no, we're not sleeping together. Oh no, he loves
Yeah.
you, and she
Yeah.
knows that. So she doesn't want to go back into that. So if we see Sita again, she's going to be with Reagan. Somehow they are going to.
I definitely want her to cause a little trouble.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I did like that today she was good, like good character, good friend.
Because mind you, Reagan went away, but Karma went to Liam. So you know how like mostly like after every event they linger around, just like that's how Liam and Amy
in
had
real
sex.
life.
In real life too.
Yeah.
But I think that's how like we haven't got to the scene to where Reagan and maybe Sita saw each other after the event too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
I
so?
should be a writer.
Yeah, maybe you should. We need to call up Carter. And so, what do we think about Liam and Karma? Do we think that this is going to work? Because she even said at the end of this episode that she just wants to be in control. Mm-hmm. She's obviously still trying to get over everything.
It's not work.
She's not. I think it's just too soon.
Mm-hmm. It's too soon, but it's going to work. But I think that Karma would not be comfortable enough to tell Amy until Amy finds someone else.
Yeah.
So she won't take it that hard when she tells her that they've been together.
You guys, I'm going to throw a weird curveball. I just came up with it. But I think I might be right. What if the show decides to tell us, you know what, maybe Karma decides to be a lesbian, and then she hooks up with Zeta? Maybe there's another threesome in the mix.
Or Karma figures out that she is actually in love with Amy. Like everyone kind of wants to happen.
And then, there's just so many things that could happen.
Just so many things.
And that's a good writer for a good. That's great for them to have different ways that they can go. Because that's why we have shows like this.
And we didn't see anything we didn't see Duke this episode, but Shane talked about it because Amy's trying to get him to just be honest with Duke that he's the one who outed him. But he's like, no, bye. Don't talk about it. I'm not doing it. I can tell you what to do, but I'm not going to take my own advice.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what everyone does in this show.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's basically like, you need to be honest with them, but I'm not going to be honest with my situation at all.
Well, I think the Shane and Duke thing is just bound to be a huge disaster, and it probably will happen. Yes.
Even after the preview that you saw?
Yeah, I think it's just not gonna be a pretty thing.
Oh, because he didn't tell him yet. The preview, he didn't tell him.
Well, I think the biggest thing, well, not the biggest thing, but something that's going to definitely be an issue is that Shane really likes Duke. So he wants to be in this exclusive relationship, just the two of them. But we see in the preview that he's like, okay, we're officially in an open relationship, which, isn't what he wants. So I think that's another source of problem for their relationship.
Sometimes you don't know what you want, but I don't know that it's good for you. So I think that's what Shane is.
Especially when you're 16.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
We keep forgetting that, even though we've met them and we know that they're not 16.
I feel like they're my friend.
Exactly. That's why I was like, hey, we don't get a drink.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't get a drink.
That's so funny.
Well, they can sneak in clubs, so I guess.
Yeah, well, and then we see Theo, Jimmy Theo, in the preview that he tells Warren that he wants her back.
And what?
Mm-hmm. In his cop uniform. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what
Aggressive.
What do I miss? What did I miss?
What do you mean, what do you miss? He's a cop.
But I'm saying from the time that from the pep rally or whatever that was to him being in front of Lauren saying in his uniform, telling her that.
Maybe he like quits the undercover gig and becomes just like a normal cop to try to get her back.
So he said like a little pay cut, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not deceiving anyone anymore.
Yeah, I think he's just been secretly like loving her, and he's felt very guilty about it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. Have you guys seen the Never Been Kissed?
Of course.
Yeah, when she.
Yeah, and then they kiss on the baseball field at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cortez is like, no, I've never seen that before.
You really need to catch up, Cortez. You're missing out on so much.
It's a great movie. You need to watch Little Pretty Little Liars. You got some homework to do before next week. All right, guys, where can we find you on social media?
All right, guys, you can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram, and online at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com.
I'm going to go buy some of that oil.
Some of that oil.
You can find me on all social media as well as Cortez G West. Make sure you support me because I would love supporting you as well. You can also follow us on AfterBuzz TV.
That's right, and you can find me at Sterling Case, and of course all of us at AfterBuzz TV, SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
5 stars, people. 5 stars.
That's right. All right, we'll see you next week for episode 13. Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.